Alright, so checking out Nasdaq here on the daily chart, there are two retracements drawn so far. The first one runs from the 22 lows up in the all-time highs, and the second one is from the August lows of 24 up here into the all-time highs. You can see also there are two retracements drawn on here. The first 161.8 extension is from the 21 to 22 lows, and that sets the 161.8 at 22,705 and a quarter. Pretty close to the current all-time highs. On the index it hits, but here on the futures it doesn't. And then there's a secondary 161.8 up here from the range of July 24 to the low of August 24 at 23,758.75. So now we'll drill back down into the daily chart. And so what we see just off the get here is that from the measure from the August 24 to the all-time highs, the 23.6, the shortest term fib measure, is at 21,372. We're starting to move down below that first retracement level. If we want to check for the depth of that pullback, we look for the 61.8 as the strongest retracement. And so we will just put the 61.8 on here. And we see that even on the shorter term measure, price is already below that 61.8. So on the longer term measure and on the shortest term, this is now basically risk for the Nasdaq. If we want also, let's go ahead and throw a couple more volume profiles on. This one will stretch from the August lows to the current, and that puts the point of control, the fairest price to do business here, at about 20,353. We can also put one from the all-time highs to the current. And this is basically this point of control basically shows us where the sellers and the buyers line in the sand is. So above this line that is at 21,233.50, at 21,396, the bears are in favor below that line. Above that, the bulls are in favor. And so that really lines up well with our other two levels here at 21,332 all the way up in there. So we can go ahead, and we already know that this range is going to be resistance. We can go ahead and put a red box here just to show that. I'm just going to go ahead and take away the outline. And so we know this is resistance. And another measure that we need to put on is from the all-time high down here into the current low. That's our second term measure, and let's go ahead and just put the 38.2 of that on as well. And we'll turn it into yellow. And so now we have some other resistance points above price here on the retracements, and we also know where our first level of resistance is going to be at. Also, below price, we know that the previous low here at 26,968 is going to try to act as support. And then we also have our next level of support down here at 20,705. That's the 38.2 of the measure from the August lows. And we also see the blue in this volume profile, and what the blue represents are high volume nodes. We have a little one here at 2780-ish, and then we have a very large node down here from 20,300 into 20,600 that controls a lot of demand down here in range. We also see the point of control here is at 20,365 from the August low up here into the all-time high. So if we do end up not being able to recover the area marked in red, then we know where our next targets could be at. Down here, just at target 1. And then this volume node is going to act as demand. Really, this whole thing acts as demand. There's not really any terrible structure here on the daily. It's more or less just a rolling down of price. And so at that rate, it's harder to capitulate through volume. Usually we capitulate in nulls and not nodes. And really, this is all pretty well built out in the same sizing. We are going to lose this upper distribution node here on the August to current time frame from 21,473 up to about 21,525. and we do generally like to see price travel to like nodes, which eventually is down here. You can see that if you put just your cursor here, the closest node that makes it to this point is down here into this volume node. So the pathway down may be more chop down than slide down. Obviously that can change on news and while we're in negative gamma. But for now, it's really just hard to set a positive tone while we're below this 21,332 to 21,372. Above that offers maybe a bit more bounce and a bit more test. We have our 2 resistance points here, and then we can always zoom in and just drop a trend line on. Oops. There we go. So, but that is the outlook for NQ. We do, I mean, that's a pretty decent bias here. If we do get a recovery, we have option just a little bit higher into, it's 154, 241, and potentially an all-time high at 5% higher. Obviously, though, with the recovery in mind first, elsewise chopped it down on the NQ. Hope everybody had a good weekend. A good weekend. It's Thursday. Hope everybody had a good Jimmy Carter's off day. God bless his soul. And see you all back here tomorrow.